not functioned. Even here in this particular polling station, I had to come here earlier in the morning where the electoral officers were unaware that they could actually use multiple fingers to verify the voters. So when they tried the thumbprint and it didn't work, then they said that was it. So when I got here and then the EC technical officer got here, that was when we realized, no, you were using only the thumbprint, but you've captured the 10 fingerprints. And so you could use either the index finger on any of the other hands, and then we were able to clear the backlog. There have been places where the BVDs have not just worked at all, but those have been replaced very quickly or rectified very quickly. So we must give credits there. Generally, we've had challenges. In one of my polling stations, there was an issue where they sent two parliamentary stamps, two presidential stamps, no parliamentary, in the Shama School A. And so the voting there started after 8:30 because we now had to make a request for the parliamentary stamp to come before they could start voting there. But generally it's been cool, it's been peaceful so far. Just our turnout is being a bit low. Turnout is a bit lower than expected. We're still hoping that with about 3.5 hours to go, we can be able to get out more people to vote.
But the EC should make up for the time loss?
Well, that's the prerogative of the Electoral Commission. I think 10 hours is good enough time. If there are any exceptional cases where maybe 3-4 hours were lost, then the EC would have to definitely make up in those particular polling stations. I believe that would just be fair to extend for voters, especially if you still have people showing up at 5 p.m. and there was a delay. Then you would need to have some consideration for polling stations where I don't think it should be a blanket thing. I think it should be on case by case as and where it's requisite.
But in terms of the BVDs, what explanation did the EC give as to what caused them to either not respond or malfunction?
Well, we haven't been given any explanation, so I can't speak to that.
There's some joy we know. I mean, your spirit is so calm today. What is happening? Are you in that low spirit of what is going on? I mean,
this really isn't a contest. There really isn't any contest here, and it comes from the confidence that my people have given to me, the confidence they've reposed in me. I mean, so far I have 204 polling stations. I've visited about 140 of them, and literally everywhere I go, the people just say, "MP, why are you worrying yourself? Just go back and rest." Like, we know who you are, what you represent, and we're comfortable with what you represent. So for me, it's about ensuring that we get as many people out to vote for John Mahama as well, and to raise the numbers for John Mahama. And so that's why for me the turnout is a really major issue, and I'm confident about delivering on this because it's a no-brainer.
But the data suggests that your predecessor, who is no more, he was in the 70s, but ever since he took over, he's been in the 60s, and your very recent one, which is 2020 election, you were in the 69%. What are you doing differently, and how do you hope to, get to that level of percentage?
Well, they say statistics are like a bikini. It tells a lot, but it doesn't. It also reveals a lot, but it conceals very vital things. You're talking percentages. I look at absolute numbers, real numbers, because elections are not about percentages. They're about numbers. And so, yes, he may have been in the 70s, but his last performance was 22,000 votes. That was in 2012. In 2016, when I came in, when the NDC was losing votes across the country, I polled 26,000. In 2012, my predecessor beat the NPP with a margin of 3,400. In 2016, when I came, when the NDC was losing across the country, I polled 26,000, 4,000 more than him, but beat the NPP with a margin of 10,000. In 2020, yes, I had 69.8%, but I polled 50,000 votes for the presidential and almost 49,000 in the parliamentary. Beat the NPP with a margin of almost 30,000. So I took it from 3,400. So you look at the percentages and say maybe my predecessor was doing better, but he had a gap between him and the NPP of 3,400. I beat the NPP in my last election with a gap of almost 30,000. There are constituencies in this country where the total voter register is less than 30,000, and that's the margin I beat them with. And I won with 50,000 votes. My predecessor never got that.
So the roads to your constituency are in a terrible shape.
Yes.
I mean, getting the nod for a third term, what's the way forward?
Well, it's an indictment on the government, not on the MP. The MP is not responsible for roads. That's why the government has a minister for roads. In Parliament, I approved the budget 8 times for the Minister of Roads. The government set up a year of roads like a Kumawood movie, Year of Roads Part 1 and 2. Where are the roads? What did they do? They should show us the roads. The road from Old Ningo to Ahuiam that we drove on to this place is awarded on contract. So it's not that Sam George hasn't lobbied. I lobbied and got it awarded on contract in 2022. The contractor has not been paid. So as the MP, my job is to lobby.